Admiral Mark Montgomery, retired United States Navy, joins me as a senior fellow with the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies. Admiral, quick question for you. It's actually kind of dense. Yesterday, big trade deal signed with the EU. Part of that is the European Union's commitment to buy, quote, vast amounts, close quote, of U.S. military hardware from our defense industry. Do we have the capacity to sell them all this stuff?
So, Hugh, I think that's actually describing the conditions as is. They do buy vast amounts from us. They need to buy more, and then that gets into your point. Are we actually ready to sell them more? Because we're currently selling a lot in the Middle East, to Saudi Arabia, to Israel. We sell a lot in Asia to Japan, Australia, Korea, and Taiwan. And so Europe increasing because they need to compensate for 30 plus years of kind of a busman's holiday on a lot of procurement. That's going to be a challenge. So they do buy a lot. Agreeing to buy even more is possible, but we're going to absolutely have to make the kind of investments in defense industrial base that increase our capacity, not just that we build the max missiles possible, but we change what that number is year over year over year.
Is this also a way to perhaps get additional weaponry to Ukraine? If we have capacity to produce, for example, whatever is the replacement, I know we're not making ATACMS anymore, but there's a new missile. If we have the capacity to produce more and they've agreed to buy more, is that just another way of supplying Ukraine?
That's exactly it. In both the air defense systems, Patriot and what's called AMRAAM, which goes on their NASAMS air defense systems we've given them and our European allies have given them, and the Japanese and others over the last 3 years, they'll buy replacement missiles for that. And then you mentioned something great, offensive systems. It's both MLR, it's both medium range artillery that's MLRS that are launched from they launched something called a GMLRS. I hate all these acronyms, but that's an Army medium range system, and then the long range system ATACMS. I think in that case, what I'd hope is the president would give them ATACMS to give to Ukraine, and they would then pay for the ATACMS replacement, which is a missile called the Precision Strike Missile. The Army doesn't want ATACMS anymore. President Trump's not willing to give them to Ukraine for free, but I think he would give them to Ukraine if the Europeans then backfilled the United States with the equivalent cost value of precision strike missiles. So these can really work together to improve Ukraine. I presumed that was part and parcel of the president's thinking on this.
All right, now, where does our defense industry have to expand fastest? Is it in the middle of the country? Is it on the coast with the seaborne stuff? Or is it everywhere, everything? Or do we have a priority list?
Yes, it's the middle one. Yes, it's everywhere. But look, principally, I will tell you, because of state decisions on how you do environmental impact studies for munitions factories, how you support with tax incentives, companies coming in, preferentially, defense firms are in the southeast and the southwest of the United States. And you see a lot of that. That doesn't mean there aren't exceptions to that in Michigan and in other states. But the vast majority of these, and then obviously Crane, Indiana, a terrific amount of work goes around outside the Navy facilities there. But the real factory, I mean, Texas, Florida, Arkansas are big states for this. Arizona, these are all big states for this production. And it's a demand signal on their STEM workforce. The good news is there's jobs for all Americans. The bad news is they may need to move.
Well, now those are nice places to go to. Okay, let me switch to the other side of the world, because today the president spent a lot of time talking about the fact that the Thailand-Cambodia border combat was coming to an end. The United States had stepped in and persuaded both to stop. I've been to both countries exactly once. I'm sure you've been to both a lot more than that. How could Cambodia ever expect to go up against Thailand? I mean, Cambodia may be the most impoverished place I've ever been.
So I'm in Taiwan right now. So I'm in the time zone. What I'll tell you is that this is one of those things where Thailand, certainly with F-16s, the artillery they have, everything, they have much better equipment. But you're asking me, how does a smaller country stand up to a larger country if they're willing to sacrifice? And Cambodia has historically, as we know, in their wars that they fought in the past with Vietnam and others and themselves, been willing to sacrifice hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people in pyrrhic pyrrhic causes. So what I'll say is, look, this would be foolhardy for the two of them to go to war. This is a minor border dispute. It's 3 or 4 different areas where the border dispute is, but it is not worth. Neither one of them has an economy that can take any tanking. So I think that this needed to come to an end. Some adults need to come in the room. Malaysia, potentially the United States, were those countries that helped the two of them decide this was stupid.
All right, and since you're in Taiwan, are they upping their defense expenditures? Are they getting serious about demonstrating to China it would not be a walk in the park?
They are. And look, they were at about 2.5% last year. They're headed to 3%. They would get there this year if we could do FMS, foreign military sales. But that is been a constant pain in our allies' side. The countries come to us, say we would like to buy weapons, and then we start like a 5 to 7 year death march to deliver that weapon system, way too late and frustratingly, now kind of out of sync with what the country's needs are. So they're trying to buy things. They're putting together billions of dollars of foreign military sales packages and trying to get the U.S. to process them so they can get to 3% or 4% or potentially even someday 5%. But until we get better, we're the only country that'll sell them weapons, period. No one else in the world, because they're scared of China. No one will sell them weapons but us. So we have to get better. And as bad, you mentioned the munitions problems for the United States military and maybe for selling to Europe. I would just tell you Taiwan has experienced the exact same thing. 7 years to deliver Javelin missiles, 7 years to deliver Stinger manned portable air missiles. This is ridiculous.
Is that in the Pentagon or is that in the Treasury Department, Admiral?
Pentagon and State, and pick your choice on the two of them. They both have a lot of stink on them on this. And sometimes the host nation country complicates things, like they ask a question, and if you ask a question, you reset the problem. But Pentagon and State both have to clean themselves up, and Congress is ordering it.
Oh, good. Well, that's some good news to end on. Admiral Mark Montgomery, enjoy your time in Taiwan. Thank you for joining me half the world away. I appreciate it. God knows what time it is there, but I appreciate your being up to talk to me.